Firstly, sorry this video is pretty late. Basically, there's been some terrible weather in England. Big change there. My satellite dish got knocked out, so I couldn't watch TV for like 4 days, which included the Sunday that this aired, so yeah, couldn't watch it. I had to wait until Tuesday evening to watch it on BBC iPlayer, and then I had college for the next 2 days, so I'm recording this on Friday. So this is the first opportunity I've had to actually sit down and record this, so sorry about that. I'll try and get this out before the end of Friday today, hopefully. But yeah, anyway, episode 7, can you hear me? Right, well this one was alright, I guess. Kind of on the same sort of level as Praxeus from last week, I suppose. I found it to be another one of the more averaging kind of episodes this series, rather than the big standout type, like Spyfall and Fugitive of the Jadoo. Although it wasn't as spectacularly well done as Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, so it did end up being more of an average episode. We'll go through the things that I did like about it first, and then we'll do the stuff that could have been improved afterwards. The little animation section I quite liked, sort of in the middle when they was given the exposition for the villains, backstory, that's the word I'm looking for, their backstory. So yeah, I like the little animation section they did, that was nice. They've never done that before, that's new. After all these decades, the Doctor Who's still finding new things that it can do for its episodes, so that's good. I like that they've brought back old villains again. This time they brought back 2 Eternals, that was really cool, I like that. Also like how they did the references to the Guardians and the Toymaker as well, and other Eternals and whatnot, so that's cool. I like how they brought back old villains. Eternals are one that I never thought they would actually bring back as well. I think they're a really underrated classic Who villain. If you don't know about the Eternals, watch Enlightenment with the 5th Doctor and then Ghostlight with the 7th Doctor, because the main villain in that is also an Eternal, although they never actually state that in the episode, he is an Eternal. Yeah, so I don't think they've ever actually had the Eternals in the modern series. They've mentioned them a couple times, but I don't think they've ever had them in. I think the Trickster from the Sarah Jane Adventures was supposed to be some kind of Eternal as well, even though they never explicitly state that. I think he had something... Ah, that is bright. Yeah, I think he had something to do with the Eternals, whether he was one or he just had an alliance with them or something or other, I don't know. You know, the fact that they've done an episode with the Eternals, you know, it just solidifies my belief that the BBC are leeching off my mind. I literally did a 2-part Eternal story in my fan series just last year, and then the BBC does an episode with Eternals in a year after. That's it. I'm convinced that they have wiretapped my room. This is the 3rd episode in a row I've done this joke. Look, BBC, can you please stop nicking my ideas? Thank you. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, love the villains in this. They were a bit underdone, I think. There's more potential there than what they acted upon, but still, nice to see the Eternals come back. There is a negative point that I have to bring up about them that I'll talk about in a few minutes though. The companions in this got a good chunk of development as well, with the whole sort of nightmare-scape type thing that they had going on there. That was really good, especially Yaz getting the development. So yeah, companions actually getting a good, decent amount of development. That's like the most development they've ever got in an episode, probably. That's a big plus, I'd say. The few side characters that we had I think were pretty decent as well. I don't think they're really all that memorable, gonna be honest, but they worked well enough. At least we had a fixed villain this time round, so that was good. Now, let's go into some of the things I wasn't too keen on. Speaking of the villains, again, I said the villains weren't really that well done. We also had that weird werewolf-type monster that Zelen had made from that girl's nightmares as well. Yeah, that was a thing that existed. Nothing really much to say about that, it was just sort of there. Now, these being Eternals, they're supposed to be immortal and incredibly powerful beings, as old as the universe itself. Now, taking that into consideration, I thought the way they resolved the issue in this episode was way too quick. They just show up and like, less than 2 minutes later they've defeated the villains with a big werewolf monster from some ancient woman's nightmares. I'm not buying that bullshit. That was way too underdone, that conclusion, that resolution of the thread. You shouldn't be able to defeat Eternals that easily. I mean, if anything, you shouldn't really be able to defeat Eternals at all, really, considering they're immortal. You know, they exist outside of time and space, so you can't really defeat them. The fact that they trapped them in that prison in the first place, with that werewolf monster, was just kind of weird. yeah. But what the hell, it was only like a 50-minute long episode as opposed to an hour and 40-minute long 4-parter like we had in the classic series, so I guess they gotta make do, I suppose. The Doctor in this, I wasn't too keen on her in this one, gonna be honest. She was alright, she was really close to her. Actually no, she basically was back in her Series 11 personality again. You know, using this thing every 5 fucking seconds. Being really, really chatty and giving off a lot of exposition, and yeah, I don't know, just generally, yeah, she goes back into that persona where she just over-explains everything and just constantly talks. When 13 goes on rambles, she has this really annoying, like, tone to her voice. You know, it's like any other Doctor and it would be like, oh, Sarah Jane, it's a positron generator. You know, put very simply, it does this thing and then does this thing. You know, it would be... I don't really know how to explain this, it would just be better done. But whenever 13 goes on a ramble or exposition dump, it's... I don't know, her tone of voice is just kind of off to me. It's just like, this machine does this thing, and it's incredibly powerful. I don't know, whenever the 13th Doctor just goes off on these, like, weird, over-explaining rambles, it just sounds like a 5-year-old being too enthusiastic and trying to be dramatic. I don't know, I hope you can understand what I'm going for with that sentence. So yeah, the Doctor was a bit off and on the nose in this. Again, the episode itself was a little dull as well, I felt. It was a bit slower. The pacing was a little bit off as well, not as bad as Orphan 55, I think, but yeah, this one was a little bit of a drag in places. I don't know, could have done with a bit of work in that regard. Yeah, there's not a whole lot I really can think to talk about for this one. It was a bit more kind of average. One thing I didn't even pick up on until someone else mentioned it. Apparently this episode was supposed to be a message about mental health. That didn't really come across in the episode for me, personally. I didn't get that until someone else explained it, like, on the internet, so, you know. So yeah, apparently it was meant to be some, like, big thing about mental health issues. You could have fooled me. Something a lot of people have complained about is how the Doctor reacted to Graham talking about his fears of his cancer returning. I mean, that's kind of out of character for the Doctor, the way she was just like, I don't know what to say, I'm a bit socially awkward, sorry mate. But at the same time, that is kind of in character. I mean, the Doctor is obviously socially awkward and doesn't really interact with people the way we normal people would. But again, I don't know. I don't think it's that big a deal, gonna be honest. I don't know. I guess because I didn't pick up on the fact that the episode was supposed to be about mental health, that's probably why I didn't really get mad at that scene as much as other people have. I don't know. Bugger it. It was a decent episode. I'll give it probably a 6.5. It was alright, it was decent, but you know, nothing that I'd be in a huge hurry to go back to and rewatch. But yeah, I love that they brought back the Eternals. I just wish they'd had a better story to work with than this. I think that's all I'm going to say on this one. So that was my, again, sorry, very late review of Can You Hear Me? Hopefully my episode 8 review will be out a bit sooner. Actually no, it might. My episode 8 review, it might not be up at the usual time either. I'll work on it the best I can, but I can't promise anything. Just a heads up. So yeah, that's everything. So next time we've got The Haunting of Villa Diodati. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a bloody long title. Apparently there's Cybermen in this one, but I don't know. We'll wait and see. I promise I'll try my best to get that video out on time. But yeah, see you.